Yeah, I am gonna do this same thing with Nickelodeon like I've done with Cartoon Network. It's gonna be a best Nickelodeon list and then a worst. Obviously, this first part is gonna be the best. And also, um, I've had a bit of a nightmare with my Cartoon Network videos. Not because, I've gotten a bunch of negative feedback, but it's because I've had I've had them stolen like about 5 times, and I just made 2 claims today. So I'm expecting this video to get stolen because all the Cartoon Network ones were. And I'm gonna have to fill out more claims. And the first claim I made was Saturday, which was, let's see, that was about 4 days ago. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy. And if you find your favorite show is not on this, it's okay. Maybe it would have made the list if there were more slots. But let's begin with Nickelodeon's best shows. The Rugrats is a classic Nicktoon. It ran for like over 10 years, I believe, and even got its own spin-off show, All Grown Up, which was and even 3 movies, and one of them being a crossover. I'll mention it later, was but their first 2 movies, Rugrats the movie and Rugrats in Paris, were great. Anyway, with the show, what's it about? Well, it's about this group of friends, and they're all babies. There's Tommy, Chucky, and then the twins, Phil and Lil. Later on, there's also Tommy's little brother, Dill, and, well, then Chucky's stepsister, whose name I can't remember. Kimmy, yeah, Kimmy. Yeah, that's Chucky's stepsister, who, well, he gets after Rugrats in Paris. Spoilers. And, well, there's also Tommy's older cousin, Angelica, who is, well, best way to describe her is that she's Hillary Clinton if Hillary Clinton was a little girl. Yeah, I totally stole that from Nostalgia Critic, but he's right. I mean, Angelica definitely fits that bill. And, well, it's about their little adventures. The humor is kind of gross out, but this is a show about babies. What do you think they're going to talk about? Something intelligent? I read Shakespeare, and then I made poop. I mean, what? You're not really gonna get any, like, the best humor out there. It's mostly like gross out, them talking about poop, but it makes sense. I mean, again, this is a show about babies, and babies are the main characters. And you know what? It's funny. Not to mention they at least don't show anything like that, thank God. That wouldn't have gotten past the censorship ratings or some shit like that. I don't know. But, yeah. And, there is, a bunch of shenanigans which mimics Toy Story, although this show came out before Toy Story. Like, when people aren't watching what they're really doing. And, there's also their parents. Chucky's dad is single until the second movie. And, well, there's also Phil and Lil's parents. And, well, I know their mom is, well, like one of those exercise 90s women. And then there's Tommy's mom, Dee Dee, and then Stu. Oh, yeah, and also Drew, who is Angelica's dad. And, yeah. Quite frankly, it's a classic show. Definitely check it out if you have the time. Fairly Odd Parents has been around for quite a while and is still on. Whatever. Alright, so the show is about this kid named Timmy, and he wears a pink shirt and a pink hat, and he has buck teeth that people like to point out. And, well, his life is shit. He's got, 2 loving parents that, well, kinda could care less about him. And he's got evil bitchy babysitter Vicky. And, well, one day he gets these 2 things called fairy godparents, named Cosmo and Wanda, and their husband and wife. Cosmo is kind of slow, but he's like old Patrick Star. Although, of course, Cosmo, like Patrick, after, something happens, he suddenly becomes fucking retarded. Wanda, she's loving and caring, but can also be a bit of a nag. And Timmy, he's a nice kid, and, sometimes he's maybe a little selfish, but, and, well, every time he wishes something, well, sometimes it bites him in the ass or makes him learn his lesson, unlike a certain other show that we looked at with Cartoon Network. Timmy at least learns his lesson, and the episodes are still creative. They don't use the same sound effects, same setup, or the same punchlines, definitely takes a repetitive formula and makes it, refreshing every single time. That was until they started, ripping off themselves. And yeah, later on, Poof came, and apparently Cosmo was the last fairy baby ever, which is a lie, because past episodes, there's so many baby strollers being pushed around with baby fairies in them. Huge plot hole. And then there was that live action movie, which was but the effects were just awful. And then an even bigger plot hole when they brought in that stupid fucking dog. What's his name? Like Sparky or something? Yeah. So why does he exist now? But in those live action movies that take place when Timmy's like 23, Sparky's not there. Oh my god, I hope Timmy one day goes all old yeller on this fucking dog. He is fucking annoying. And Fairly OddParents has gone downhill and just needs to end. People have asked me to rant on Fairly OddParents, but really, I don't really care that much anymore. The old episodes are good. These newer episodes, they're okay, but they keep getting worse and worse and worse. Oh yeah, there's also a bunch of other fairies. Jorgen von Strangle, who is Arnold, and he loves the Tooth Fairy that I'm sure they fucked by now. There's also anti-fairies, which are, well, that explains itself. And the creepiest thing, in Fairy World, the fairies are born from the dad. It's creepy as fuck. Yeah, so yeah, that's why it's so low on this list. Now for number 8. Oh boy. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've done 3 editions of shitty ass SpongeBob episodes with a 4th one on the way, and the show has been going downhill and there's nothing left. Why do I put it on this list? Because SpongeBob is still one of my favorite shows. I just really hate what Nickelodeon has done to him. The show is just awful. Okay, what's it about? You know what it's about. Who doesn't know what SpongeBob's about? If you don't, you either live under a rock or you're retarded. Okay? So yeah, the old episodes, fantastic, classic. I love them. I love them to death. Sometimes I love them more than I love myself. That didn't sound good. Okay, well, yeah. And I also really did like the movie as well. That's great. The second movie... I might review it one day when it comes out. That is if I see it. And if I don't see it, it'll either be A, the trailer scared me off, or B, I intended to see it, but I just didn't end up seeing it just because I don't really have any high hopes for the second movie, because, with how the show has gone in recent years, they're fucking kidding themselves. Nickelodeon, just let SpongeBob die in peace already. Okay? You're raping the good name that was SpongeBob SquarePants. And that's why he's so low on this list. amidst all the, kind of crazy Nicktoons that Nickelodeon had, like, through the 90s, it was time to try something different. Something, well, along the lines of sports. And that's what Rocket Power is. What's Rocket Power about? It's about this group of friends, Otto, his sister Reggie, and then Twister, and Sam, aka the Squid. And, well, Otto, he basically is like leader of the whole group of friends. And Reggie, she's like second in command. Twister is a pretty cool guy. Sam is the most down to earth, and he's from Kansas. I mean, they like to say that a lot. And yeah, there's also, Otto's dad, and then the fat Hawaiian guy. I can't even remember his name, but he owns the Shore Shack, which they like to go to. They do a lot of sports, which, really encourages kids to go out and, try to play those sports. And don't forget to wear all the protection that the show has when they go out, like biking and whatnot, because, well, you'll probably be spending a lot of money on bandages, and probably eventually you'll be paying high hospital bills. Actually, that you'll end up paying high hospital bills even if you have all that protection on. That sounded wrong. But Rocket Power, it had a lot of energy. The characters were pretty likable. It's a little cheesy now because, like, it's your birthday, yeah. Wait. Like that 90s and early 2000s stuff. But, it's still good. I still quite enjoy Rocket Power. And it had a great run. Really did. Oh, Kenan Kel. So, what's Kenan Kel? It's like the precursor to Key and Peele, pretty much. It's a sketch show with, the two main characters, that are on the cover. Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell, who were big stars on All That. And, they were so great, they even got their own spin-off show. And, it's quite funny. Kenan and Kel, they are funny guys. And, sometimes they do have nice lessons to teach kids. I mean, in the Christmas one, when Kenan was Santa, and the little girl said that she didn't want anything for Christmas, but she still wanted a bike, Kenan went the full length to get her and her brother new bikes for Christmas. That is dedication. And yeah, here's how the show would start. Kenan and Kel, of course there's the theme song, which is sung by Coolio of all people. Awesome. And then you have Kenan and Kel on stage, doing some jokes and, telling everything's gonna be about. And then, the show starts and, it is quite funny. And their signature drink is orange soda. That's really funny. Kenan does also have a job at this one grocery store. I can't remember. Yeah, and Kel is quite an insane motherfucker. I mean, that's a TV movie. They had Two Heads Are Better Than None. Really, really funny. And he, even has a dark sense of humor. Yeah, Kenan and Kel, it's one of those, it's kind of forgotten because not a lot of people mention it. Yeah. Right now Kenan Thompson is on Saturday Night Live, which we all saw that coming. Kel Mitchell, I'm not sure what happened to Kel Mitchell. I think he was on an episode of Sam and Cat. If you know what else Kel Mitchell's doing, feel free to tell me because I kind of lost track. Hey Arnold. This is fantastic. It was such a fantastic show. Well, what's it about? It's about this kid named Arnold. He's 9 years old and he's in 4th grade. So you can only assume this takes place in maybe the fall. I don't know. He lives with his grandparents because, his parents gave him to his grandparents at one point. There was even an episode dedicated to that part, and it's really heart-touching. Arnold does have friends. There's also Gerald, and then there's this bitch he knows, is named Helga. And, well, Helga, she always acts like, I hate you, Arnold, but secretly, she loves him. There's also Phoebe and Harold and a bunch of other characters. Stinky, I can't really name a lot, but a lot of colorful characters that have each their own unique personalities and aren't stereotyped. And surprisingly, this show's also pretty mature. Not in like, it shows explicit content, but like the characters are pretty mature, especially Arnold. Like, watch The Pigeon Man, and you'll see what I mean. I mean, Arnold, this is a 9-year-old kid. Do you know any 9-year-old kids that are that mature? No. I know I wasn't that mature when I was 9, in 3rd or 4th grade. I mean, it's quite a gem in and of itself. And, well, Hey Arnold also got a movie. It's okay. Yeah, Hey Arnold. Hey, this is just a great show. This was before Amanda Bynes went insane, and when, everyone knew her, and it was a good thing. So yeah, Amanda Show, this is another kind of like thing that was spun off from all that, like Kenan Kel. Amanda Bynes was a funny star on all that, and well, Nickelodeon's like, you know what? Let's give you your own show, Amanda. And well, it's quite good. It's, yeah, it is like another SNL, but it still has its own unique style, makes it different from all that and Kenan and Kel. Oh, and it did have funny segments like Judge Trudy, Stranded, and then whatever duper, like Cookie Duper, Super Duper. And although those parts kind of had gross things, but it's a dad and the daughter who are failures at having some sort of food place, and they have the grandpa. I swear, a lot of these segments, I almost pissed myself laughing. And this is also, where Drake Bell and Josh Peck even started their careers somewhat. Although, I gotta say my least favorite segment was probably Moody's Point. I mean, I know what it was trying to do, make fun of serious stuff, but I don't really remember that much from it. So yeah, Amanda Show. If you want to see Amanda Bynes, where she's not just going around calling everyone ugly, even the president, whether you like him or hate him, then this is the show for you. And also, if you really love comedies, this is perfect. The Troop. Now, I briefly touched on this show in another video. That's because the show I was talking about ripped this show off. I think we all know what that show is. So The Troop, what's it about? Well, it's about these 3 kids who are recruited by their principal, and they have to stop all these monsters that come from out of nowhere, and well, make sure people don't even remember them because, well, secrets and whatnot. And it's a lot of different monsters that, do a bunch of different things, like they can shapeshift, they can take over people's bodies, be invisible, etc. Yeah, the characters themselves are pretty good, and so is their principal. The CGI used in the show, yeah, Power Rangers has better CGI, quite frankly. But then again, different budgets. Okay. Nickelodeon wants to spend X amount on this and then X amount on that. Like, Nickelodeon right now isn't even spending enough for Power Rangers. I mean, 20 episodes in a season? Nick, let them have like 30 or 40. Okay, alright, I'm back on track. So yeah, The Troop, and it's also a neat thing for sci-fi fans like myself. And they have many creative ways, and well, just it's creative genius. that's what the show is, and that's why I like it. 70 years after the events of Avatar: The Last Airbender comes the Legend of Korra. So yeah, Legend of Korra. It's quite a good show. Yeah, it is a spin-off from The Last Airbender. Specific Avatar: The Last Airbender. Sorry, I almost said something terrible. But yeah, basically, it's the plot is similar to Avatar: The Last Airbender, except instead of Aang, we've got Korra, who is a waterbender, and, well, I swear, when I first saw her, I thought she was Katara or some, I don't know, maybe it's because both characters look similar. And, well, the Nickelodeon was intending this to be a little kiddish compared to what Avatar: The Last Airbender did, but it's still, mature and knows what it is. It's not just, that kiddie shit that, people think, has to be dumbed down. It is mature, and, even adds, other thing, like firebenders can also bend, like, lightning, certain waterbenders that can also bend blood, which, I mean, that's very dark. And, well, right now it's in its 3rd season, and so far I'm very impressed with it. Korra, this is the one of 3 shows right now that on Nick that you should only support. I mean, the other one being whatever Power Rangers show is on, and we'll get to that 3rd. I mean, Nickelodeon, why don't you extend, that to other shows, that kids shows don't have to be fucking retarded. Korra, sometimes it even makes you forget that Nickelodeon has gone downhill. The Wild Thornberrys. This is another classic Nicktoon from many moons ago. So what is this about? Well, it's about this girl named Eliza, and, well, her family is quite amazing. Her dad, Nigel, is, how can I describe? He's like Steve Irwin, except not dead. And, well, they travel in their RV around the world, They're making a documentary on, different animals from certain parts of the world. There's her dad, her mom, her sister Debbie, and, well, they even got, and that's the family, but then they got 2 more. They got Darwin, this monkey, and then this little boy that they call Donnie that found them. So what's so special about Eliza? Well, at one point she helped this pig, which turned into, like, this witch doctor guy, and, well, for helping him, he grants Eliza powers to, well, be able to talk to animals, so she can talk to Darwin and any other animals, and, it's quite amazing, although she cannot tell anyone that she can, otherwise she loses her ability to talk to animals. Helps her be one with nature, which, is quite unique for a show. And the different places they go to and the different animals they meet, it's just very exciting. And it's even more exciting when she talks to, like, dangerous creatures like alligators and crocodiles and just, how much they kind of want to kill her. It sets up for a lot of things, and it even got a movie, the Wild Thornberrys movie, which I did really like. A lot of people, for some reason, did, but I really liked it. And remember that crossover I mentioned with Rugrats? Yeah, it was with Wild Thornberrys, which was, probably would have done better as a TV movie, quite honestly, but, that's the decision they went with. So yeah, Wild Thornberrys, it is kind of wild, and a very enjoyable wild. So yeah, stay tuned for part 2, where I tackle numbers 10 through 1. See you then.